We're wrapping up our discussion with the Canadian Taxpayers National Federal Director, Franco Terrazzano. Thanks again, Franco, for joining us on. We've had a very lively discussion as we're talking about waste and mismanagement. Sometimes I think we smile too much. It's really actually kind of sad of what's happening. But let's keep on those smiles as we delve into new taxes we can expect for the coming year, 2025. So let's start. What should we expect as we're heading into tax season? Taxes are going to be on people's minds. What is going to be changing?
Well, brace for impact, taxpayers, because the federal government is going to be reaching deeper into your pockets with payroll tax increases and capital gains tax increases, and also making life more expensive with alcohol tax hikes, with the new digital services tax, with an online streaming tax, and of course, with the carbon tax that is set to go up again on April the 1st.
Oh my goodness, this is a lot. How much will this cost us? Like you've just, I don't even know what the digital streaming tax is. I think I have an idea, but please share us. What is that? Unpack it.
Well, yeah, so the digital services tax is essentially going to be targeting online corporations, right? Like online marketplaces, things of that nature. The online streaming tax, well, that's going to make it like more expensive for you to stream your favorite movies, listen to your favorite music. The online streaming tax will cost taxpayers about $200 million every single year. The digital services tax is expected to cost taxpayers just over $1 billion in 2025. But one thing that we have to really nail in here for Canadians to understand is that what this is going to do is going to make life more expensive. Okay, because we've seen this from other countries when governments put in these types of online streaming taxes or digital services taxes, these large companies, they don't just eat the costs. What ends up happening is that consumers here in Canada end up paying higher prices for things like, watching your favorite movies or streaming your favorite music online.
Yeah, it's just passed on to the consumer. So we'll see a new line item that says digital streaming tax, because I'm sure the companies want to highlight that's the government that's doing it. But at the end of the day, it's us, the taxpayer, who is not only paying for the bureaucrats to impose the tax, but then we're paying for the tax itself.
Yep.
That sounds messy. The capital gains tax is going to be hiked again, you said?
Yeah, so the government introduced a capital gains tax in its increase in its last budget. Now this is going to be so economically damaging. Okay, we just saw a recent report from University of Calgary economist Jack Mintz, and he says that the capital gains tax increase could slash about 400,000 Canadian jobs.
How so?
Well, let me get into that, right? It could also blow a $90 billion hole in the Canadian economy. So how does it hammer Canadian workers as well? Well, think about this. You're making Canada less competitive. You're making it harder for Canada as a country to attract more investment. But what you're also doing is punishing Canadian businesses that are successful. Okay, so think about that young, smart tech graduate from one of Canada's universities. Well, as the government imposes higher taxes like capital gains taxes, you're encouraging that young, smart university graduate not to set up shop in Canada, but to set up shop in a place like the United States and take the government revenue, the successful business, and all those potential jobs with them.
Wow, that's a shock, especially as we have now a new U.S. president, President Donald Trump, who is far more protectionist with his own economy and who I'm sure would like to take a lot of those businesses into the United States. How do we compete against that?
Well, we compete by doing the opposite of what the Trudeau government is doing. Stop raising taxes, cut the inefficient, bloated federal bureaucracy, and cut red tape. One more thing on the capital gains tax increase. This is an undemocratic tax hike. The legislation for this tax increase has not even been passed through Parliament. Okay, it hasn't been passed through Parliament, and yet the unelected CRA bureaucrats are acting as if this tax has passed through Parliament. So they're going to go ahead and take more money from Canadians' pockets, even though our elected representatives haven't passed the legislation through Parliament. It is an undemocratic tax hike. It's going to hurt our economy. We need the capital gains tax increase reversed ASAP.
We have 5 seconds left. Are you going to challenge it in court?
Well, all I can say at this point is that the Canadian Taxpayers Federation will use every tool available to fight that. So stay tuned for more.
Okay, Franco, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.